Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the February 2023 news conference. This is our first public safety news conference of 2023. And without further ado, let's get started. We will first hear from Detective G.D. Mundy from Kernersville Police, and he's going to tell us about the Forsyth Cares partnership with the Winston-Salem Police Department and all agencies in Forsyth County.
Good morning. I'm Detective Mundy with the Kernersville Police Department. Today I want to talk about a countywide collaboration among our emergency communications teams and first responders within the county. CARES is an online service letting Forsyth County residents provide information for first responders to use in emergencies involving them or a loved one. CARES is an acronym meaning Community Assistance Registry for Emergency Services. You can access the site from forsythcc/Forsyth Cares. On the web page, if you scroll down, there's a place to get started to take you to the online survey. There's other videos and information about it, as well as a patch from every organization that's part of the collaboration. The story of Forsyth Cares is best told through example. For example, Jane's mother, Ruth, lives alone. Jane goes to forsyth.cc/Forsyth Cares and enters information for her mother, who is starting to show signs of dementia. She explains that Ruth is otherwise in good physical health and likes to visit nearby parks. She explains that they have 3 different vehicles at the home and that Ruth may have access to the keys. Before she completes the form, she shares her medical information, a recent photo, and the fact that she has a Ring doorbell. Months later, police respond to Ruth's residence following a residential alarm call. Ruth is nowhere to be found within the home. Concerned, officers retrieve information from the Forsyth Cares geotag located on their map in communications. Even though there is no history at the address, the officer is now able to contact neighbors who have an invested interest in Ruth, as well as Jane. The officer calls the neighbor to discover that they picked up Ruth for a pre-planned outing, and the alarm must have been tripped by accident. If you think about this scenario a different way, Mike and Jane have a son who has autism, and they complete a registration for him in Forsyth Cares. In it, they explain his anxiety to loud voices, his tendency to repeat questions without answering them, and he likes to window shop downtown. They've submitted an updated photo, and should he go missing or need help at home, first responders have a head start from prior data collection about this individual, who they are attempting to interact with, the medical facility preferred, and how to engage in conversation with him. The program developed 2 years ago in Kernersville. It expanded to the county soon after and went live as of December of 2022. There is no cost to register. The information is stored on a secured server managed by Map Forsyth at the County Government Center. Just approximately 42 people have access to the dashboard and the collected information as a geotag. They are able to forward it to any first responder that is responding to certain locations through either copy and paste or an email for the picture.
Thank you, Detective Mundy. We'll give our presentation a brief moment to load up. Okay, there we go. And now I would like to welcome Chief William Penn.
Good morning, everyone. I am Chief of Police William Penn, Jr. On behalf of the entire staff at the Winston-Salem Police Department, I want to welcome you to the February 2023 Public Safety News Conference. First, please join me in honoring our fallen officers since our last Public Safety News Conference who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Sergeant Leland Glenn Teague. End of watch, December 26, 1927. Sergeant Teague died from gunshot wounds received 2 weeks earlier when he and several officers raided a home on Oak Street while searching for a suspect wanted for murdering a security guard. Suspect was arrested, convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, and sentenced to death. Officer Donald Allred, end of watch, January 3rd, 1983. Patrolman Allred died from injuries received 5 days earlier when he was struck by a truck while investigating an automobile accident. Police Officer Robert Betrego, end of watch, January 15th, 1994. Officer Betrego was shot and killed while attempting to stop a robbery at a grocery store where he was shopping despite being unarmed. Officer Betrego had served with the agency for only 6 months. The suspect was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Police Officer Michael Ray Jennings, end of watch, January 29, 1993. Officer Jennings was killed when his car slid into a tree and burst into flames as he was driving down a steep hill. His partner was injured in the accident as well. Now please join me in a moment of silence to honor these officers, as well as the women and men across our country who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to express how honored and excited I am to be your Chief of Police. I understand that I have a challenging task ahead of me. Leading the efforts to keep the citizens of this community safe and ensuring that they feel safe. With this said, I also recognize that many in our community are suffering right now. Areas in our city have been plagued by violence. I just want to assure you today that the brave men and women of the Winston-Salem Police Department are dedicated to ensuring the citizens in this community feel safe. I want to take this opportunity to personally thank our outstanding police officers for risking their lives on a day-to-day basis and all the exceptional work they perform every day, as well as our professional staff for the work they do to support us on a day-to-day basis. Thank you for your selflessness and commitment to the citizens of our city. Moving on to upcoming events. The Public Safety and Recreation and Parks Black History Celebration will be held virtually on Sunday, February 19th. The program can be seen on WSTV Digital Media, the city's YouTube channel, and the city's website. The police department will be honoring retired Sergeant Ross King and retired Corporal Jerome Paul. I'm also excited today to announce that we'll be reinstating our Coffee with the Cop events. Please join us at Chick-fil-A at 924 Haynes-Mall Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on March 2nd, 2023. Please visit the WSPD social media pages for details about other upcoming community events. Next on our program, I'll bring up Captain Amy Galton, who will give an update on January 23, 2023 gun violence. Following Captain Galton will be Ms. DeWanna Hamlin from Bridges of Hope Family Justice Center. And lastly, Ms. Kyra Boyd will discuss a new, exciting online reporting system for our citizens.
Good morning. I'm Captain Galden with the Winston-Salem Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division. And just to cover the incidents that happened in January, as we all know, it was a record month for us with the number of homicides at 9 total homicides for the city. And with that, for those families impacted by the violence, I'd just like to extend our condolences to those families and assure you that our detectives and our professional staff are working together to investigate every lead possible and investigating each and every one of those cases to the fullest extent. Of those 9 homicides, there are 4 cases that we have arrests and/or pending charges, so those are moving forward. And there's also 4 unsolved incidents and 1 open investigation. There's 23 non-fatal shootings at this time as well. And one of the things we want to do with that information is really encourage the community to come forward with any information that they may have regarding these incidents. 2 of those incidents were at large public events, one being at a park, one being at a bar, a nightclub in our city, to which we know there's large crowds, and we know that there's people out there that have information. And so now we're reaching out to those people and asking you to come forward to work with us to solve these cases and hold the people accountable for what has happened. There are multiple ways you can do that, one of them being Crime Stoppers, as you can see the number here. We also have a Spanish-speaking Crime Stoppers number, as well as Facebook, where you can go on Facebook and fill out the Crime Stoppers form. There's also Text-a-Tip, and Text-a-Tip is a little different than Crime Stoppers, in which you can provide text, photos, or videos. So at these events, I'm sure that there's people that may have those kind of pieces of information that we ask them to send those in to us and work with us on these cases. And as always, there's also the non-emergency number, where you can contact a detective straight and talk to them and just share information one-on-one with them as well. Also, as part of our gun violence update, for January 2023, the ShotSpotter update is included. And with that, just keep in mind that ShotSpotter only covers 3 square miles in our city based on where we had received the highest number of discharging firearms calls for service. So in January alone, in that 3 square mile radius, gunfire was up 42% over the same period last year. There's also 26 more alerts than the previous month. And overall, there's 222 ShotSpotter alerts just in those 3 square miles, with over 1,000 rounds, exactly 1,135 rounds fired during that time in 1 month. And just to give some perspective as to when that's occurring, that's mostly occurring on Sundays between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. So that's the most significant time for when that's occurring. And I also just want to take an opportunity to thank those detectives and our professional staff working these cases and these incidents of gunfire, because they're working tirelessly to do everything they can with our manpower and resources that we have available. And again, we just ask the community to come forward and help us with that, and so we can hold these people accountable for what's happening in our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Captain Galden. And next, I would like to invite Ms. DeWanna Hamlin from Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center.
Good morning, and thank you to the Winston-Salem Police Department for being a key partner to Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center, and also recognizing that Bridges to Hope is a vital community resource here in Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. I also want to mention that February is also National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month as well. Again, my name is DeWanna Hamlin. I am the Director of Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center, and we are Department of Forsyth County Government, and we're located on the Health and Human Services campus at 725 North Highland Avenue in Annex 1. For those of you who may not see the PowerPoint but hear the PowerPoint, our phone number is 336-776-3255. The Family Justice Center is considered a best practice model of prevention and intervention by the U.S. Department of Justice, and I want to point out just a few things. When there's a Family Justice Center in a community, there is increased victim safety, reduced recantation and minimization, and increased prosecution of offenders. And I want to make sure that folks know that not only are we connecting to victims and their needs, we also are working with the North Carolina Department of Adult Correction here in Forsyth County, the DA's office, the clerk's office, to make sure that offenders who commit domestic violence crimes are held accountable. And we have a robust high-risk DV probation program to ensure that that happens. For those of you who might not know what domestic violence is, a lot of folks experience these types of situations in their relationships, but they don't have a name for it. So I just want to point out a few things that are connected to that. The person might experience attempted strangulation, hitting, kicking, slapping, punching, or other types of assaults. There's also controlling money, name-calling, put-downs, communicating threats, sabotaging a partner's work or school activities, pressure to have sex, co-occurring animal abuse and/or child abuse, keeping someone isolated from their friends and family, destroying property, using weapons, or harassing phone calls. Please keep in mind that not all intimate partner violence is considered criminal activity in nature, but is also devastating to health, safety, and overall functioning. So just a few more things about Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center and our operations. We are serving people that are impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, child maltreatment, elder abuse, and human trafficking in one location. That is to reduce trauma and the need to go to 15 or 20 different places across a community to receive services. We have services available in one location at no cost. We're available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. No appointment is needed. We do a brief assessment, and we have client navigators who assist clients to determine what is appropriate for them and how they want to choose to interact with our partners. We also have filings on site for the emergency ex parte 50B domestic violence protective order. But you must arrive between 8:30 and noon to meet our deadline because court is every day at 2 o'clock virtually with a district court judge. Some of the partners of Bridges to Hope are Children's Law Center, Family Services, Forsyth County Clerk of Court and Forsyth County District Attorney's Office, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, Kernersville Police Department, Winston-Salem Police Department, and the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, North Carolina Department of Adult Correction, the Parenting Path, and also we include survivors who have experienced different types of interpersonal violence to give feedback to us and our partners so that we can best meet the needs of survivors in this community. And also we have other departments of Forsyth County government, such as the Department of Social Services, the Department of Public Health, and Community and Economic Development that can offer resources and immediate services on site. So some of the types of assistance that people can expect are connection to our law enforcement agencies related to criminal and civil proceedings, offer victim support and advocacy and safety planning, legal consultation and support. Of course, I've already mentioned the electronic filing for 50Bs, navigation through the center, and also referrals for financial education, parenting support, connection to public benefits and housing, referrals for counseling for adults and children, vocational skills training, and education. And I just want to leave you with a few thoughts because we've talked a lot in our community about gun violence, and we want to make mention that domestic violence is definitely connected to gun violence in communities across our country. Most intimate partner homicides, probably no surprise to anyone, are committed with firearms. Between 2010 and 2017, there was a 26% increase of domestic violence homicides with firearms. And in this particular information, use of other weapons actually went down during this time period. 2014 to 2019, 59.1% of mass shootings were related to domestic violence, or the shooter killed a family member or intimate partner. In 2022 in North Carolina, 35 of 47 domestic violence homicides through November involve guns. Through January 18th of this year in North Carolina, 8 of 9 domestic violence homicides involved a firearm, 5 including murder-suicide. Guns in the hands of the perpetrator of intimate partner violence and domestic violence can be deadly to children in the home, the intended victim, bystanders, and the community at large. So I just want to leave you with this final thought. We implore nurses, teachers, co-workers, pastors, family members, and friends to learn more about how to recognize the signs of interpersonal violence, learn how to refer to resources available in our community, and build a strong, resilient community by learning the components of healthy relationships. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hamlin. We are so excited to present to you all a new online reporting system that is coming hopefully this spring. Well, before this spring, but coming soon. And we are allowing citizens to file police reports online. Now, this is a system that will allow citizens to self-report certain incidents. There's no officer interaction needed, and citizens will be able to file a report 24/7. Now, you can't file everything, but there are certain criteria that apply that include the incident must have occurred inside the city of Winston-Salem. So if someone hit your car in Kernersville, sorry, you got to go to Kernersville. You can't use this system for that. No one was injured and no weapons were involved. A valid return email address is also required to fill out this online form. Now, the entire process will take up to 72 hours, about 72 hours when you file your report, and you will have a records analyst look at it, and they will get back to you if you followed the correct criteria. Now, the system will launch in spring 2023, and it will allow the citizens to report the following crimes, incidents, communicating threats, custody order violations, fraud, harassment, identity theft, littering, lost property, neighborhood disputes, among others. Now, we will be implementing this, we'll be publishing this on social media and via our city website, so please look out for more information. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Assistant Chief Darrell Sawyer, and thank you all for coming out today. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate our new Police Chief, William Penn. Chief Penn, on behalf of Chief Mayo and the Winston-Salem Fire Department, we look forward to renewing collaborative relationships and keeping our community and citizens safe. Okay, also presenting today for the fire department are Fire Investigator Quincy Jackson and Barrett Team Director Kristen Ryan. Every day in the United States, firefighters, police officers, and other first responders navigate busy highways and roads responding to emergencies. While most people know that we face danger as part of our daily jobs, most aren't aware of how much risk we face from drivers around them. The threat continues when we reach the destination. On average, more than 12,000 roadway responses occur every day in the United States, where responders are under the constant threat of being hit, clipped, or collided with from drivers as they pass by. I'm here to introduce a new safety system that we have installed in 6 of our apparatus on a trial basis called Safety Cloud by HAAS Alert. The Safety Cloud sends real-time safety notifications called digital alerts to motorists approaching active emergency responders who are en route or on the scene of incidents. The alerts are received by drivers on popular navigation applications such as Waze, Apple Maps, and selected vehicle infotainment platforms. The clip here, those are the messages that you will receive on your devices. It just lets you know that a car stopped 2.2 miles away on I-40, and there's a fire truck on the scene. And and the other one, oops, I'm sorry, got a little ahead of myself. And that also is a notification that there's our emergency vehicles ahead. In addition to verbal alerts, in addition to visual alerts, the system also has verbal alerts that has a unique sound and a communications that lets you know that the events are taking place ahead, so you're not distracted by looking at devices.
Safety Cloud by HAAS Alert is a collision prevention service that connects and protects road workers. Here's how it works. When a vehicle turns on its emergency lights, Safety Cloud broadcasts digital alerts to approaching vehicles in infotainment centers and navigation applications. Safety Cloud alerts give drivers more time to slow down and move over and can reduce collision risk by up to 90%. Trusted by public safety, towing professionals, and road workers nationwide, Safety Cloud connects emergency personnel to the road around them. Safety Cloud by HAAS Alert. When you're on the road, we've got your back.
All right, and here's another video that kind of gives an overview of what to expect from the system.
When you know what's ahead, you can prepare for what's coming. Safety Cloud, a real-time vehicle safety network. Safety Cloud monitors the road for you, alerting you to what lies ahead when it matters the most. By connecting vehicles to the roads they navigate, we make roads safer for everyone that shares them. Because on the road, things can change in an instant. But with Safety Cloud, you can be ready for anything that may come your way. Safety Cloud by HAAS Alert. For the road ahead.
Okay, just in closing, implementing the Safety Cloud is a proactive measure to keep our firefighters safe on the roadway, improve compliance with move-over laws, and reduces the likelihood of secondary roadside collisions. Are there any questions? All right, thank you. Up next will be Fire Investigator Quincy Jackson.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? As mentioned, I'm Quincy Jackson, and it's important that I say I'm a senior, because if you ask for the junior, it's much sillier than I am. He's about 7 years old, and have y'all up here laughing all morning. At any rate, this morning we're going to talk about heating and why it's important to not only be warm in the winter, but also be safe in the winter. Now, as we kind of have dealt with the last couple of days, it's been warmer in the afternoons, but cold in the morning. So what does that mean for you and I? Well, it means that we have to be safe. And although we may turn down the temperature in our homes to maybe 68, 67, we all still use space heaters. So what's some key and vital reminders to keep in mind when using space heaters? I'm going to touch on a few. Well, one of the most important is that we keep flammables at least 3 feet away from using a space heater. Now, why is that? But when using a space heater, the radiant heat from it can easily catch something on fire that's nearby. This could be a toy, this could be paper, magazines, clothing, blankets, all of which can easily catch on fire. This also includes combustible and flammable liquid. So for instance, if you're working in a garage or a shed and you have maybe a gas can laying around, and in conjunction with using a space heater, this too could lead to a fire. We also don't want to leave a space heater unattended. Just as though you wouldn't leave a candle on the counter unattended, so too you also wouldn't want to leave the space heater just on in the room running. What about plugging it in? I got a brown extension cord in my junk drawer that everyone has in their house. Could I plug it into that? Well, no. And why is that? Well, the current that that a space heater produces, an extension cord, surge protector, those aren't adequate to handle the amount of current that the space heater produces. So you want to plug directly into a wall receptacle when using a space heater. I'll click. Okay. Also of importance is to make sure that it's on a level surface. And also, if you have a wheeled space heater as pictured above, want to make sure that it's not broken. We've already kind of touched on having a 3 feet radius around the space heater as pictured. You have a couch there, and you have blankets, and you also have what appears to be a curtain. Suppose it was too close. Again, could lead to ignition. So we covered some basic safety tips on using space heaters, and let's say we've done everything correct. We have it plugged directly into the wall, we have our 3 feet of clearance, we don't have any combustible liquids near it. Something still possibly could go wrong. And what could be our first line of defense when it comes to using a space heater in the event something goes wrong? Smoke alarms. The importance of smoke alarms cannot be overstated. It's important to have them in every sleeping quarter, also outside of the sleeping quarters. Testing. I'm sure we've all been on the phone with someone and we hear that annoying beep noise in the background. And they say, what's that noise? Oh, that's just a smoke alarm. It's just going off. Well, that noise that you hear is a low battery. So it's very vital that smoke alarms are tested each month. There's a test button right in the center, and this can be something done either at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month. Also, it's important to change the batteries out twice a year. They also make lithium batteries that actually last for 10 years. Despite that, it's still important to test them out each month. There's supposed to be another slide. There was supposed to be another slide, I believe, but if not, I will ask if there are any questions. If you know anyone who doesn't have smoke alarms, or if you yourself are in need, the Winston-Salem Fire Department does offer a no-cost program to install these. You can visit our website, cityofwsfire.org, for more information. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Kristen Ryan, and I'm here to present a new Winston-Salem Fire Department program called the BEAR Team. The BEAR Team stands for the Behavioral Evaluation and Response Team. The team is going to provide compassionate mental health intervention services to all the individuals in Winston-Salem, and a key part would be the collaboration with all community providers as an essential part for follow-up care for the individuals we're serving. The team is designed to be an alternative to law enforcement response for mental health and substance use indicated 911 calls. And it's going to consist of an experienced team of 1 director and 6 crisis counselors. We'll be ready to serve the city of Winston-Salem in the spring of 2023. I do have my email here. If anybody is interested in collaborations or have further questions, please don't hesitate to email. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. This concludes our February 8th press conference, and if you have any questions, staff may be around, so we encourage you to ask your questions, and thank you for joining us. Enjoy your day.